The Detroit Lions are hosting a playoff game this week.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, here we go, everybody. Matt Derry with you. It's another week of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day on a Monday, January 8th and a Tuesday, January 9th, week one of the tournament. The NFL playoffs is here. Your Detroit Lions will be hosting the unnamed quarterback and the LA Rams Sunday night at Ford Field. Who's fired up for this game? That place, the roof, seriously, the roof is going to come off of that place. It's going to be unbelievable. What was Michael Jordan's line years ago? The floor, the roof is the floor, or something, whatever it was. Anyway, welcome into the program. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Derry Facebook fan page, Threads at The Real Matt Derry. And also, you can watch us for free. Please subscribe on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Coming up on the show today, we'll get into the matchup a little bit, my reaction to playing the unnamed quarterback and the Rams. We'll do that coming up momentarily. Also, Sam LaPorta update on his injury status. PFF grades from yesterday's win over the Minnesota Vikings, top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers. And an NFL team has already put in for a request to interview Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn for their vacant head coaching positions. All of that today here on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. We're brought to you today by FanDuel. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 money line bet that you win. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. All right, so you saw yesterday's post-game pod. I recorded that about 5 o'clock yesterday. Wanted to get a fresh show out right after the Lions' 30-20 win over the Vikings yesterday. Detroit finishes the season 12-5. Their 12 wins matches a franchise record from the 1991 team. And it's an exciting time right now around here. You got the national championship game tonight, Michigan and Washington. There was a cult rally earlier today led by the morning show host at the Ticket. Man, I mean, it's just exciting. But anyway, Lion fans, Detroit sports fans are so excited for their NFL football team because Sunday night in prime time with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth and Melissa Stark and NBC, a whole day of partying. You're going to have Detroit and the Rams at 8:15. The return of the unnamed quarterback, Sean McVay against Jared Goff, the unnamed's wife, and Hank Winchester doing their thing all week, I'm sure. Somebody already texted me, oh, Kelly's got it reposting on her Instagram today, the video she made years ago when the unnamed quarterback left Detroit. And that's what I'm calling him all week. He's not getting any love on this show, none. And all of you that have jerseys with the number 9 and unnamed on the back, don't wear them this weekend. All of your Detroit Rams gear that you had a couple years ago, when we're all rooting for our guy in the Super Bowl, burn it. Our quarterback is Jared freaking Goff. Jared Goff is winning football games here. Jared Goff is winning divisions here. Not the unnamed. Tired of it. I didn't want this matchup because I'm already sick of the hype. Now, Jake Wolak and some other everydayers hit me up. Aren't you so much better to play the Rams? I don't know about that. Jordan Love is a rookie, not a rookie, but a first-year starter who's never been in the playoffs. The unnamed quarterback, he's been to Super Bowls. He's won Super Bowls. He's won playoff games. Not here, but he's won playoff games. And I know for all you unnamed fans, I'm having some fun. Just bear with me. But this is going to be awesome. And yes, your man right here, I will be there Sunday night. Oh, I'll be there. How can I not be? I'm touched by the invitation. That's all I'll say. Honored, to be honest. But it's going to be awesome. That place is going to be crazy. And I just hope Lion fans take this week and soak it in. Soak it in what this means for this franchise. This is why the team was trying to win yesterday and played their starters, because they don't just want one playoff game in their own building. They want another one. And look, there's a chance if Green Bay upsets Dallas and the Lions win, that the Lions could host a second game. But for now, we know this. I mean, there's one, and the Lions want to make it a point to be eventually getting a bye and only hosting a couple and getting to the Super Bowl. What this team has accomplished. I mean, yesterday in the locker room after the game, Dan Campbell turned it over to Sheila Hamp. And yes, Mrs. Ford made an entrance, sunglasses and all. Gave a little speech. It was a year ago. What was it? Last year, year before? Sheila was booed. The Ford family, everybody thumbed their nose at this operation. And now the Lions are doing it right. And that's why I didn't want the Rams, because all anybody's going to be talking about when NBC at 8, if you just get in front of your TV at 8:15, you're going to see the unnamed quarterback coming out of the locker room. He's back. First time back. Here he is. He gets an ovation. Will he be booed? Will he not? Will you boo him or not? Do you have a number 9 jersey? Will you wear it or not? I wanted none of that, because I want to focus on this team and this group. It's a likable team. It's a good group of guys. You got to root for, who isn't rooting for a Taylor Decker or a Jalen Reeves-Maybin, or even a guy like Don Muehlbach, guys that have been around. Will Harris, these guys have been around so much losing. Frank Ragnow have been around such losing. And I'm telling you, I get why these ticket prices are through the roof. You got to want to be at this thing. What was the last Detroit pro sports event, sporting event that was a must be at? I know Miguel Cabrera's last game, fine, whatever, and that was cool. And the Tigers, to their credit, did it well. But this is a huge game. What was the last big game we had downtown? Seriously, tell me the last one. I couldn't even tell you. Tigers playoffs like years ago? And the Wings haven't done anything in years. The Pistons, I mean, I guess their win over the Raptors to break the 28-game streak was fun, but like, this has so much meaning. This is immense. And it's all been Lion games for the last couple of years that have been big games, because this team has built something now in year 3 with 12 wins. And some are saying they got a shot. They got a shot. They get to the NFC title game, play San Francisco or whatever. You just never know. This thing's wide open. And as we saw yesterday in week 18, there are some teams. By the way, the quarterback play in week 18, like you had Sam Darnold against Carson Wentz. Like, I'd rather have a Lions superfan Henry Steed from Country Oaks Elementary than watching Wentz and Sam Darnold and some of these quarterbacks in week 18. I mean, Jeff Driscoll, my God. But you see a handful of these teams that are a little bit fraudulent. Miami can't beat a good team. Buffalo was the 2 seed in the AFC. 3 weeks ago, they weren't even in the playoffs. Baltimore, who everybody's crowning because of their record in the regular season and certainly getting the 1 seed, but you don't think the Browns maybe couldn't beat the Ravens in the second round? The AFC South champion, Houston, barely squeaked by the Colts on a drop pass. This thing is wide open. And for Lions fans, man, be loud, get excited. This is awesome. I just think it's great. And it's a likable team, and it's a team that has a good chance. You know, these Jim Caldwell teams were good teams, playoff teams, but you didn't have a feeling that they had a chance, a good, real chance. This Lions team has a chance to make a run. They do. Are there holes in the secondary? Of course there are. We worried about not having Sam LaPorta. We'll update that momentarily. Of course you are. It's a good team. Won 12 games this year. All right. Coming up next, let's discuss the LaPorta injury. We'll get some PFF grades from yesterday. All of that here on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. We're brought to you today by our friends at LinkedIn Jobs. At the start of the new year, every small business owner is asking themselves the same question. What's the one move I can make that'll take my business to the next level in 2024. You're looking to hire, bring in somebody really good. LinkedIn Jobs knows that your success all depends on the team you surround yourself with. That's why LinkedIn Jobs has created the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. Seriously, I got that purple hashtag hiring frame on my LinkedIn profile as we look for to hire financial advisors at my company and financial architects. Check it out for yourself at LinkedIn. I'm on there. Follow me, connect with me, whatever. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. It's a vast network of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. Check it out for yourself. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. I'm Matt Derry with you, Locked On Lions, a Monday edition, playoff week edition. We'll get you the Thursday crossover. Working on some other guests, trying to land a couple of bigger names for maybe today or tomorrow. We are working on all of that, doing our due diligence, and we'll keep you posted right here on Locked On Lions. Got to give you the update on what's going on with Sam LaPorta. The Lions tight end, of course, got injured yesterday. It was a left knee injury. Today, obviously, Dan Campbell was asked about LaPorta's status and what the latest is with him. And of course, I had it right here on my trusty screen. Dan Campbell said today that Sam LaPorta has an outside shot of playing on Sunday. Said they'll know in the next 2 days. He said they are talking days and not weeks with LaPorta. So that is good news in regards to the knee. Outside shot of playing. Look, Sam LaPorta at 60% is better than any tight end this team has on its roster. What's interesting is, as of right now, this is Monday at about 5:30 as we tape, Zach Ertz remains a free agent. The Lions have not signed another tight end. They haven't even, brought in Ertz. We haven't seen any reports about the veteran tight end who is available. Of course, has Lions ties. His tight ends coach in Arizona the last couple of years, Steve Hyden, who of course is now the Lions tight ends coach. So maybe that is a good sign. Brock Wright's been out a few weeks. James Mitchell does a nice job, but nobody is as effective, especially in the slot, getting open, making big plays, setting records. The guy caught 86 passes this year, a rookie record, 10 touchdowns. All right. Losing Sam LaPorta would be massive for this team. Now, am I afraid of the Rams defense and going, oh, no? No, I'm not. All right. But that would be an immense loss. But to hear Dan Campbell say today, there's an outside shot that LaPorta plays is huge. That's good news. And Dan Campbell doesn't lie, doesn't mince words, doesn't keep things from the media. He's pretty clear and transparent. I can't talk today when it comes to injuries. So it's not like it's a 1 to 2 week thing, 2 to 3 weeks. He says there's an outside chance. Hopefully he can go. He is just so important to this offense. He makes it go on third downs. It's him, it's Goff, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that would be a huge loss for this team. Do I think the Lions can still beat the Rams without Sam LaPorta? I do. Lions come in right now a 3.5 point favorite over the Rams in this game. Rams are playing good football. All right. They're playing very well. They rested all their starters yesterday, nearly knocked off did knock off the 49ers, 21-20 behind Carson Wentz of all people. But LA started the year a little bit slow, but they're coming on. This Puka Nacua has been unbelievable. That's the biggest concern. And we'll talk about it on the crossover. We'll talk about it on Friday. Lions secondary has been a sieve the last few weeks. The crack research staff hit me up the other day, earlier today. Where's the stat I just was getting from my crack research staff? Lions have allowed 1,055 passing yards, 351 per game over the past 3 weeks. That's the worst in the NFL. They do have 7 interceptions to 6 touchdown passes allowed. The 1,222 yards per game the Lions have allowed over the last 3 weeks is 4th most in the NFL, 4th worst. They've allowed 3 100-yard receiving games, CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson twice. So, and the unnamed quarterback has thrown for the Rams for 317, 328, and 258 with 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions the last 3 weeks. He's playing well. He's really good. Come on. The unnamed can play. But still like the Lions' chances, even if it turns into a track meet with this offense in this at Ford Field at home with this crowd. So I am definitely looking forward to that. I think it should be very, very interesting. So we'll see. PFF grades, let's do those very quickly. Here's what happened in yesterday's 30-20 win over the Minnesota Vikings, according to our friends at Pro Football Focus. The top 5 Lion performers on offense. Number 1, Amon-Ra St. Brown, another 100-yard game. Justin Jefferson told him after the game, F the Pro Bowl voters, as they exchanged uniforms, jerseys. Amon-Ra, a 91.0 grade. Second highest grade was Khalif Raymond at 90.2. Hopefully he's okay after yesterday. Taylor Decker, third, 78.2. Jared Goff, fourth, with a 75.7 grade. And Sam LaPorta, before the injury, a grade of 74.0. Those are your top 5 offensive performers for the Lions. Bottom 5, the worst. Right guard Graham Glasgow didn't have a good game, 42.4. James Mitchell, 52.0. Jahmyr Gibbs, 58.3. DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, 21 snaps, most as a Lion, a grade of 60. And Penei Sewell didn't grade out all that well yesterday, a 60.2. On defense, and the Lions win over the Vikings. Highest graded performer, once again, Aiden Hutchinson. What more can you say about Hutch and the second half that he's having right now? The Hutch haters, I think, are all gone. 91.7 grade for Aiden Hutchinson. Second, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, who played 17 defensive snaps. He's had a really good season. 84.1. Third, Ifeatu Melifonwu, an 80. Levi Onwuzurike, his best game as a Lion, 78.8. And Aleem McNeil, 73.2 grade. Top 5 Lions on defense. Bottom 5, this was bad. Benito Jones, a 27.7 grade. Ouch. Tyson Alualu, 33 snaps. Had no clue. 36.2. Lions are going to need to draft an interior defensive lineman or sign one in free agency this summer or this winter or whatever. Cam Sutton, 46.4 despite the interception. Kirby Joseph, 50.7. Kindle Vildor, 53.1. Lions cornerbacks not named Brian Branch. Ouch right now. And that's the biggest thing going into this game with Nakua and Cooper Kupp and all the weapons that the Rams have. When you have this group of corners right now playing the way they're playing. Cam Sutton, hopefully that interception yesterday gets him going because he has not played well. Don't think he's 100%. I know he had that groin and hamstring problem a couple weeks ago. Wasn't even on the injury report this week. But Lions need some help in the secondary. Hopefully now that you've got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back, Melifonwu, Joseph, there's some depth there. Maybe they move Ducey, as they call him, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, to more of a cornerback role. You know, Melifonwu can play some corner. That's what he did at Syracuse. So we'll see. But that's got to be what scares you and keeps you up at night is the unnamed quarterback dealing against that secondary on that fast track at Ford Field, as they say. Congrats, by the way, to the Packers. That's a heck of a job by Matt LaFleur to get that team into the postseason, especially how they started the year. And I don't think they're going to win in Dallas, but it's a pretty darn good job. And D'Amico Ryans for winning the AFC South. Man, there's some really good coaching jobs that were done this year around the NFL. All right, coming up next, couple of Lions assistants already have been contacted by other teams. Now, again, no interviews could take place for a couple of weeks, but teams can request to interview. And that's exactly what one team did today with 2 Lion coordinators. We will discuss coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. Got to tell you about our friends at FanDuel NFL playoffs. Here we are. They're starting up this weekend. No better time to get in on all the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you got to do is place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose with FanDuel. If you have it on your phone, it's just easy to navigate through. The spreads and the over-unders, everything is always updated. And no matter if it's college basketball, NBA, Michigan and Washington tonight in the NCAA championship, in the national championship game, whatever it is, you want to put money down on anything, they've got it for you at FanDuel. They got live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explore tab. You can make a parlay in their Parlay Hub. Best way to find popular parlays and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network and the NFL. All right, so not a surprise today, Black Monday around the NFL. Ron Rivera out as coach of the Washington Commanders. The Carolina Panthers fired their GM, Scott Fitterer. The Commanders fired Martin Mayhew, former Lions legendary GM. A lot of openings, a lot of firings. The Bears safe for now with Eberflus, but you got openings in Washington, you got openings in Carolina, openings all across the NFL. And I'm not surprised that a guy like Ron Rivera got let go. Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank firing Arthur Smith at midnight last night. Poor Arthur Smith had Jameis Winston in that clown show with the Saints run up the score on him. Then he gets canned at 12:02 last night. Of course, the Raiders have an opening. The Chargers have an opening. Everybody in Las Vegas wants to keep Antonio Pierce, but that's up to Mark Davis, the owner. Today, reports started to trickle in that both Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator, and future head coach Aaron Glenn, very popular with the players, defensive coordinator, have been contacted, and that the Lions have been contacted by the Commanders so that team can interview Johnson and Glenn over the next few weeks. Here's what's scary about this. The Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team, whatever you wanted to call them, over the last decade, 2 decades, have been a complete laughingstock. They are a joke. But now, new ownership, Josh Harris, who owns the New Jersey Devils and the Philadelphia 76ers, and his team with David Blitzer, who's a very good owner and very good guy, part owner of the Guardians. They've gone out and hired Bob Myers, former GM of the Golden State Warriors, and Rick Spielman, former GM of the Vikings, to help with the search for a head coach. So that comes out this morning, that Myers and Spielman are in to help Harris find the next GM and coach. Then within minutes, the first 2 names that come up that the Commanders are seeking to talk to are Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Now, look, when you have success like the Lions have had, this is going to happen. People are going to pluck assistant coaches away from you. Heck, Frank Reich did it last offseason when he hired away Todd Wash and Deuce Staley away from the Lions. So this is going to happen. Lions have a really good staff, all right? Somebody today told me that Calvin Shepard, the linebackers coach, this guy's going to be a head coach. Hank Fraley, O-line coach, does a great job. But we kind of knew this was coming. The teams were going to start requesting to speak with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. The Commanders' situation is interesting. Washington has a very high draft pick. I'm not sure they figured out Sam Howell is the guy or not. And you have ownership that's committed to winning. You have a great history there. Franchise has been lousy under Dan Snyder for years, but you've got a really good group of people there now, and that's what it takes. You win from the top down, right? Lions have a really good group at the top with Sheila and Rod. Yeah, I said it. Spielman, Ray Agnew, John Dorsey, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Mike Disner, right? The Lions have put together a really good group, and now that's what the Commanders look like they're going to do. And they already want to talk to the 2 Lion coordinators with a quickness. Now, again, rules have changed. There's not going to be any interviews and stuff for, I think, a couple of weeks, unless you're a college coach, certainly like one that resides in Ann Arbor and is definitely an interesting bird. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. He can interview right away if he wants. But NFL assistants right now and ones in the playoffs, they can't for a few weeks. So we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully Ben Johnson doesn't like what's out there and decides to stay again. But I'm not going to hold my breath. He's too good of a coordinator. And Aaron Glenn, for all the gruff that he takes, and I've ripped on him too, last few weeks, Lions defense has played better. They're going to need to show up this week against a very good Rams offense. But people want to talk to the Lions people. That means they've accumulated and put together a good staff. All right, that'll do it for a Monday edition right here of Locked On Lions, playoff edition. So excited. Sunday night, 8:15, NBC for the Lions and the LA Rams. We are back again tomorrow. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts.